What's up, everybody? My name is Vicious. I'm here at the Esports Arena, here with Nate Christy, one of the staff here. We're here to break down some of the characters here at Amazon Game Studios' newest game, Breakaway.
Breakaway.
Yeah, I like that. So we're going to intro a little bit of one of the characters here. His name is Rawlins, one of the ranged shooter characters in the cast currently of the 8 warriors available. The alpha just came out yesterday, December 15th. And we're going to go through a couple more breakdowns. We have some videos available right now with the rest of the cast, but we're going to go through Rawlins here. One of the shooters, he's not entirely the farthest reaching shooter. He is a ranged attack kind of character. Kind of similar to Anne Bonny in a sense, but just not as far shooting. We're going to go through some of his abilities here. We got the primary attack. It says here 2 quick pistol shots, and Rawlins can move while firing. That's a huge deal. It's going to be really tough for characters to kind of pin him down as he's able to fire off a couple shots here. His base damage is pretty decent. It's not as good as Anne Bonny's, but he still deals the damage fairly quickly and is a pretty big nuisance to the opposition.
So like, when you say he's moving, like, I'll be like running backwards and firing, like kiting, basically.
Exactly.
What he's doing.
I think he's one of the best kiters in the cast, if not the best, because he's just able to move around the enemies so quickly while shooting. So he kind of has like a gliding motion. It's pretty cool, actually. So You're going to see that in the demo in just a little bit. His secondary ability, it's his right click, double down. It's a defensive roll with a short cooldown and 2 charges on it. So you don't have to necessarily use both at the same time. You could use one, gets you out of harm's way with a short burst of invincibility, and you have another one stocked for a 7-second cooldown. So you could use both to get out of harm's way quicker, or you could use it strategically and space them out one after the other.
So like it gets you out of crowd controls. Like say if I'm like stunned or anything, it'll cancel that out and get me out.
You could do it before the stun happens, because once you're stunned, you're kind of on lockdown.
So you have to predict the stun coming.
Exactly, yeah. If you could read enemy movements or you see the skill shot happening, just press that double down, you'll get out of the way, and you have another one just in case you're still too close to the enemies. Just having 2 in general is a really great kit for this character, because he's not necessarily the strongest character in terms of health or armor. He's definitely a squishy type of character, and he belongs in the back line. But double down is definitely something for him to get in and out of the fray relatively quickly.
So he's like a pretty mobile assassin type kind of character.
Yeah, pretty much. He's pretty much a nuisance. Not as much as an assassin, but definitely a good poke character.
So he's like always like chipping away damage.
Yeah. He's just so fast you can't really catch him. So here's the rest of his abilities. We got his Q, skill number 1, power shot, a strong double shot which deals good damage and a knockback. Shoots a little bit further than the primary attack, and it does pretty decent amount of damage. One of his main tools for damage as well. 8-second cooldown, not bad. It's pretty decent. And then going into his slide shot, it's a quick short-range slide. It launches the opponent up into the air and allows for a follow-up. That actually has a really, really good range on it. And the knock-up grants him some combo ability into his other skills, actually into his normal as well, which we're going to talk about right now. It's Blazing Barrage. He pulls out both pistols. As he stands in place, he's stationary. He unleashes at least like 6 or 7 hits from his gun, so that's pretty decent damage, right? Because if you get him caught in place with the slide shot, you're going to be taking out a lot of damage.
Can you cancel so his ultimate? He's standing in place. Can you cancel that in the middle of it? So like, say some guy's coming at you and like he's coming at you, but you're in the middle of shooting.
No, you're actually stuck there with Blazing Barrage. You can get interrupted in that skill by the opponent's other skills or primary attack, but as you're in Blazing Barrage, you are stationary the entire time, but you could aim it, you could free aim the whole time too, so you could switch from target to target as you please within the 7 or 8 shots.
So I can't like use my double down to cancel out?
Definitely not, no.
Okay.
Yeah, unfortunately, but
that'd be pretty cool.
Yeah, that'd be kind of broken too. And then we're going into his buildables. Every character has access to 2 of them. The barrel dispenser, it rolls out an explosive barrel in a straight line. It knocks back opponents as well as does damage to other buildables. It does knock down. It's a pretty, I think it's a pretty decent buildable out of the cast. It has pretty decent HP as well. It stays out there in the arena for a while, only if it's destroyed. And the second buildable they have is the jail, my personal favorite, because anyone stuck in that cell is going to be there pretty much 5 to life. The thing is, when anybody is caught in the jail, right, when it's placed as a small cube on the arena, when they get caught, they're able to break free, but they have to focus just primary attacks on it over and over again. And teammates can actually help break their teammate out of jail, but if they're caught by themselves, they're stuck there. And that's when you could pretty much capitalize on punishing whoever got caught in the jail cell.
So you definitely don't want to get caught.
Definitely not. Yeah. There's a way to like tell where it's at. I mean, it's a very blatant square on the ground that looks like a piece of metal that's flashing. So you don't want to. Sometimes you might get forced into it because of the rest of the buildables in place. But again, strategic placing can definitely benefit like the jail cell. So, and then we're gonna go into the perks right here. So go ahead and highlight the perks for me. So we have the Rolling Thunder. It's a 25 bonus AD for 5 seconds using the double down, which is his escape tool, which is E, his secondary skill. And again, if you spread that out correctly, you could get that 25 bonus damage, potentially 50, right? If you use it back to back. So that's that's pretty decent extra damage coming from Rawlins. If you build him correctly, along with like equipment and whatnot, if you want him to be a damage dealer, having this perk can definitely be beneficial in terms of poking and what he wants to do. Second perk you have is the Gold Rush. You gain bonus gold for each consecutive hit from Blazing Barrage. As you see there, it's from 5 to 25. It only has 5 hits, right? Or like five nominations.
Yeah.
Anything past 25, it'll just continue 25, 25, 25.
So it caps out at 25.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah, so you get a lot of extra gold if you manage to land the Blazing Barrage. And it's not just with the enemies. If you do that to a buff, if you do that to a buildable, you're getting that extra gold. So as long as Blazing Barrage hits, you're getting gold. So that's something to keep in mind. Yeah, he can be rich real quick. And then third perk, Dead to Rights, 15 bonus armor pen for 10 seconds after hitting an opponent with the power shot, which is his Q, not primary skill, but just his first skill. That's actually, I would say it's a decent perk to have, right? You're going to be launching that armor or that power shot pretty often if you're trying to go for a CDR kind of build. And again, it shoots further than a primary attack. So if you do that and you're trying to close the gap while being able to slide with your primary attack, it's a good initiation tool. Or just trying to pick off somebody from a longer distance while kiting. Just something to keep in mind.
So I have a question about this perk. Does a 15 bonus armor do 30 because it's 2 hits? Does it go?
The power shot is actually 1.
Which one's
it's so what it is the ability itself. It's a double shot, but it doesn't count it twice over. It's just 1.
Oh,
yeah.
So it's like I shoot both at the same time.
Exactly.
Like,
yeah, it's just one. It's considered a single hit projectile.
Okay.
So it's not. It doesn't double up. Unfortunately, that'd be pretty cool. But and then the trick shot 40 bonus AD versus airborne or blah 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 airborne opponent hits by slide shot. Now that actually
that seems pretty good.
a really sick perk, because if you manage to space out the slide shot correctly and get the combo afterwards, that could be a lot of potential damage or like a melt for anybody in the back line, like Alona or Anbani, the support characters, right? We're actually going to demonstrate that in just a little bit in game. So go ahead and pick Rawlins, and I'll show you what I mean by the combo ability for Rawlins and the potential he has on the field.
Select. Where am I going here?
Yeah, we're going to ready. We're going to ready up here.
All right.
I'm going to switch out. I'll switch out with you. I'll show you guys.
Teach me the ways. Teach me the ways.
About Rawlins, and it's going to be in a little bit of slow motion here. I'm assuming.
Is there a reason for the slow motion?
No clue. But that's how we do it. It's just for demonstration's sake. So check it out. Generally, off the bat, what I want to do with this high rate of fire, I personally like going for either damage or buildable destruction first. Just being able to get rid of enemy buildables as they persist round per round is a big deal.
Okay.
Because again, everybody has a refresh rate of like their buildables after each round. Mm-hmm. It doesn't. You can't get the same buildables in the same round essentially. So I'm gonna do this real quick. This is my specific build. I like going for buildables and then damage, armor pen.
In this order too?
Cooldown. Not necessarily. This is my personal pick of how I've been seeing him played from some of the guys over at Amazon Game Studios. Mm-hmm. Buildable damage is good. Attack damage, going for the armor pen, and CDR. Who doesn't want CDR? Most people kind of say they like movement speed on Rawlins, but if you look at his primary attack, as we mentioned earlier, he has a little glide to him, finesse and all that. Look at that.
You really don't need like the movement speed if you master that.
Exactly. So he's a very good kiting kind of character. Mm-hmm. So that's just his primary attack. And so his defensive ability, as we said before, everybody has a secondary defense ability, and it's the double down. and you still have an extra charge, you do it again. It's a 7-second cooldown, so it's just something to keep in mind. And then going into his attacks, so let's look at a primary attack. Decent damage, not too far out, right? A little further, still hits. Yeah, that's about the range. It's like max.
So when the
max
reticle
distances
turns
right here.
red, that's when we can hit him.
A little closer than when it actually turns red. Like there is when you can kill.
Oh.
And then so that being said, we're gonna have Spartacus refresh here. We're gonna use the power shot. So this doesn't reach, the power shot will. So it does cover a little further out. So we're gonna check that out again. We're gonna look at the range. Yeah, so that's pretty decent range, right?
That damage is pretty crazy too.
It's pretty good, yeah. Considering all things considered, having maximum equipment and whatnot, it's a really good deal. So that is his Q, his power shot. We're gonna go into his slide. As you see there, it launches the opponent. So we're gonna refresh that. Again, basic attacks reduce the cooldown on the moves by a fraction of a second, unless you have the CDR where it goes for a whole second each land. So it knocks up, and it has potential combo ability. If I could land it, then that'd be pretty cool. So I need to do that first. We're gonna go to the other Rawlins first. We're gonna do this. I did this earlier. It's gonna be, yeah. So there is combo ability there. You get the slide and basic attack or the Q. But personally, I would do it this way, which is what we're gonna talk about right now. The barrage. We're gonna see it in action. Yeah, they're done.
Oh, you keep him in the air with it?
Yeah, it juggles.
Oh my.
So that's the blazing barrage and how it should be used. But off the bat, if you want to use another way, you absolutely can. It's a very situational kind of thing if you do the slide into the barrage. But in general, you could just go for it, right? And that is what I was mentioning about the perk number 4. If you manage to get that combo, that's a ton of extra damage. So just something to keep in mind. Personally, Rawlins is one of my favorite in the cast. Just being able to move around so fast. You kind of have to lead the shots too. Something to keep in mind with the glides. See that?
So when you're sliding the reticle,
Yeah, you literally have to like glide.
you have
and
to
then
follow
lead
through
your
with
shots
it.
too.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's what keeps them, a little hard to use. It takes a little bit of practice, but overall, it's not too difficult, right? So.
And I have a question about this. So you know you have the gel for the buildable, yeah?
Yeah.
Can you slide, knock them in there, push the gel right below them?
That's a good question. You can't actually slide and then place it as you're coming down, but you can hit them into it. Like, the jail cell has to be out first. So,
Oh, okay.
you can knock them into it. So, either that or, let's get the refresh rate again. Refresh. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to slide and then cue him into it. If I could land it, it'd be pretty cool. Alright, we're going to do one more. I got this. Slow motion is tough. It's tough for your boy. Alright, we got this. Well, she didn't die. There, see?
Oh,
She would have definitely landed into it if she didn't die and I didn't do so much damage. But that's the jail cell. Again, strategic placing is what this buildable is all about. Just kind of putting it in the way of where they want to move is just the problem. Like if you were to put it here, that's kind of like a tight spacing for them to move around. You can't. You can jump over it actually, but again, if it gets placed here, you're getting pretty much a lifetime sentence. You're pretty much done.
With this buildable, do you want to be more offensive or do you want to be more defensive with this ability?
Personally, I like it as a defensive ability, mixing in with the other buildables on the arena. If you have a team comp going and you see what kind of buildables they have, I like working around with whatever's placed on the map first, in terms of, pestering enemy movements, kind of stopping them, like putting a little blockade from them, forcing them around, or having them choose between like going around or actually destroying the buildable first. So again, it's something to keep in mind. It's all about buildable placements and where you want to put them, right? And then the minecart, the TNT minecart, yep, knocks back, and it does damage to buildables as well if your enemy puts them down. And it's a decent amount of damage. Look at that. It's not bad. Let's move her over a little bit. Yeah, see? Really good damage. So your enemies don't want it. You could run into it, but it doesn't damage you, of course. But,
Does it blow up on you when it runs into you? Or does it like go over like...
if there's AoE damage kind of thing?
No, like if it goes like, say for example it hits a teammate.
Ooh. It doesn't damage the teammates.
Does it go through the teammate or
No.
does it stop?
It actually It'll blow up as soon as there's any point of impact, whether it's
Okay.
you or your teammates or your opponents. But something to keep in mind is wherever it explodes, it does AoE damage, as you saw here. Look, it's exploding on me, and it's still hitting her. So that's really interesting, right? Just something to keep in mind. So again, that's Rawlins in a nutshell. Really, really strong character. Again, he
fun
can be
to
built.
play.
Yeah, he's very fun to play. He's just all over the place, and he's such a nuisance. Again, being one of the squishy characters, if you lock him down, he's going to take damage, and it's not going to be a good time for him. But again, Rawlins, really, really fun character. I highly encourage picking him up, but he's just so diverse with like the rest of the cast too.
He's got a cool design too.
Yeah, for sure he does. Look at that. He's got a bunch of bullets
look
on
at-
him. Look at that.
It's like
He's
50
a
cals on him, dude.
bad boy with the shades. Oh, this is my favorite part when he crouches down and slides. Yeah.
Oh, you see that?
So sick. But yeah, man. So that's Rawlins and one of the members of Breakaway. Hope to see you guys practice them out.
See you guys out there.
Yeah, be sure to check out the rest of the videos too.